Hi there, welcome back to a new video. I don't usually create two brand new journals so close together, but this one has been on my list since quite early on in the year. I didn't want to make a Christmas journal right at the start of the year. Then I planned to make it in the summer to be organised for Christmas, and that didn't happen either. So now, what are we? End of October. And I'm finally getting around to making my Christmas journal. So this one I bought last year for a particular reason. And I'm going to be creating this journal very differently from any other Christmas journal I've ever made. Usually I make a small journal, I create a monthly kit, which will be coming up quite soon, so everyone else can create one as well who wants to. But this one feels very different. I have decided, because we moved to the country a couple of years ago, that I would create a new journal and just document a couple of pages each year. I will go back to the first Christmas we were in this house, and I will also do last Christmas, and they will be the first two Christmases in the house. We moved into the house literally just before Christmas, so I thought it would be really fun to just do a couple of pages each year and then just continue that over however many years we're in the house for. I thought that would be really, really special. I also feel it's quite a nice way to document Christmas, especially if you find it quite overwhelming. So we'll talk about that in the video as well. But this is it. This is my brand new little golden book. I say that because some I've picked up in charity shops or I've been gifted, but this is one I saw the title on Amazon and I thought it was perfect. I've never actually made a journal like this for the Christmas period, so that's quite exciting. I've got some other bits that I plan to use. I did make a kit for my last little golden book, which I loved, and I think I might do a little bit of that quickly. These are ad gifted. They were sent to me by Paper Maze to use. I have used, actually I made this, I don't know if you've seen this, I made a little pocket journal. I will leave the link down below in case you haven't seen that. This, I actually got the bits and pieces here for this. This is exactly what is left from what I picked up. I haven't decided quite yet how I'm going to do this one, but I'm excited to do it. I love the Doodlebug alphabet stickers. Look, they're little puffy ones. They are so cute. And I've got some bits and pieces here as well. These are Rose's Studio stickers. So I'll leave all the links down below for you to go and check that out. But for now, I need to make my little kit, put together some bits and pieces of what I want to use, and I'm going to get started. So I'm very excited about this. Right, fabric first. What can I use for the spine? So we have got the red gingham. We have got this one here, which I think I am leaning towards. I do also quite like the plain, and I've also got the little Christmas houses, which are quite cute. I think that's too much red. So for me, I like that one and I like this one. I think I'm going towards the plain actually. Oh, I don't know. I'm just looking at my other journals. I do quite like a pattern. No, I'm going to go with this one. That's the one I am going for. And now to choose some trimmings. I found this in amongst Happy Mail. I think I might go. I know it's Valentine's, but I actually really love this. I might go with the love. And look, I found this as well. I remember finding that. I nearly used it when I was making my gardening journal. I'm so glad I didn't now. Let's take this off. I do actually, that's got a nice, oh, decisions. I quite like the chevrons. Let's have a look. No, I'm going to go with the love. It's all about family, isn't it? So that one will be perfect. Yeah, yeah, I think so. What do you think? Or do you think the pink breaks it up a little bit? I can't decide. No, I'm going with that. I'm going to cut it to size now. Then I've got my pieces. And it feels nice and organised. I could always do the other one inside, so I might just leave it out. And I love doing that with it. I think we might be ready to start. I've got my fabric, got my trimmings, I've pulled some other bits and pieces out. So this is feeling very exciting. I might actually embrace some of the pink and bring out the pink a little bit. I think that would be quite fun. So the first thing I want to do, just in case you haven't seen me do these before, oh, I think we do need to embrace the pink. I love a little bit of pink in my Christmas decor. Right, the last one I did, this one's got staples in. The last one I did was actually completely sewn in, and it really took me by surprise. Oh, this one's tough. I need to pull this apart. Some are tougher than others. Let's see how this one is. Oh, done it. And you have to be so careful. These staples are super large. They really are. They're lethal. Let's just straighten those. But the nice thing is all the pages are so perfectly entwined together. Right, these staples mean business. Let's straighten these. I need to try and pull these out. Oh, done one. And then the other one, like I said, just go really careful because some are really stubborn. Look, they are super strong, those staples. Okay, so we've done our first one and the second as well. I don't think I am, oh, I've taken off the back cover. I don't think I am going to reuse this. Definitely not now. In fact, actually I will keep that on. Just gives me a little bit more space to play with, I think. Let's just tidy up this though, the spine. Look how pretty that pink is inside. I love that. Did not realise that. I don't think I'd actually taken it in at all. Right, we have got our cover. We'll come back to the pages in a moment, and we want to create our spine now. This one's not going to be huge because it is just literally going to be a couple of pages each year. My favourite thing to use for a spine is, and I couldn't find any last time, this Amazon, you know when Amazon just send a small, almost like thick envelope through the door. This is my favourite to use because it's sturdy enough to get your needle through. Sturdy enough to sort of like hold the spine, but it's bendy enough to be able to easily get your needle through when you're sewing, but it's also sturdy enough to actually hold as a spine. I used to try and use the grey board, you know, the real thick stuff. I mean, it's solid, it really is, but it's no give in it whatsoever. It makes it very difficult to actually sew through, and I do like to sew mine. Right, we're not going to see any of this, so it doesn't matter about what's on there. We're going to be covering that with the fabric. Just want to cut it to size. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to do a huge one. I'm literally just going to do a couple of signatures, and it's going to be a journal that just sits on the side and comes out at the end of each year. I know that's not straight, but that is fine. I need to go and get some clear tape because that's downstairs. So let's lay this out so we can see. You need to leave a little gap in between. That's really important. And I am using clear tape, and I always say this in every video where I make these. There's so many different ways to doing these. Oh, that was a big gap. This is just my way, how I enjoy doing them and what works best for me. But just want a little gap. But everyone finds their own way to do things. It definitely is a case of trial and error. There we go. And then fold that over and tuck these in. And there we have our spine. I've done that one wonky. let's just reposition that. Right. Oh, I don't want to tear this now. That's okay. Make sure it's not upside down. Try that again. That's better. There. Good job I noticed that. Okay, there we go. There's our spine. We've got the carcass of the book. And that just fits in really nicely. And the idea why you need the gap is so that you can bend it easily. There, I'm happy with that. Next thing we want to do, I haven't actually stuck that on very well, that'll be fine. Next thing I want to do is add the fabric for my journal. There we go. I'm going to have a little look actually, because I want to make sure that I don't really want the man on it. I like the house down here actually, that's what I like. So yeah, the house and the trees, that's what I would like. Not that you can probably really notice, but I'm just going to cut that. Well, I wonder, I can double that up. I'm just going to take the whole length, I think. I think that would be easier. And the other thing I will be doing, see that I will pop this in my trimmings box. That might even be nice actually as tabs. Let's leave that out before I put that away. Just going to grab something else. I have just grabbed my little dangly bit, which is this bit here, so that you can add your charms, because I do love to add a charm. I wanted to make sure I had that. Now the other thing I want to do is cut my fabric. I don't want to do too much. It needs to go over slightly. Let's lay it over like that, because we will also have the ribbon. Let's just check that out, how this is going to look. We are going to have the ribbon down there, and I've also got this here as well. That is going to look so cute. I love that. So let's cut that here. And there. I think that should be, oh, I didn't do that very well. Nice thing when you do this kind of thing, it doesn't have to be perfect, just purely because we do lots of hiding. We use the ribbons to tidy up any maybe unsightly things. I want to make sure, oh, I do like the houses. I really like the houses actually. I just want to make sure that that's in the position I would like it to be. That comes over perfect, and then I can trim that as well. So let's just trim this slightly, and again I will keep this for a tab top, and that just folds up. This is quite a lot thicker this side, I've just noticed, so let's just trim that down just to try and make it as tidy as possible. If I can do that now, it will make my life easier. So let me know, are you going to be documenting Christmas? I would love to hear. Have you done it before? Let me grab my red tape. I love documenting Christmas, but it took me a long time, maybe about 15 years to get it right. I used to start a journal when my kids were younger. It was all in the days when like Ali Edwards started it and everyone was doing the December dailies. I used to try so hard. I had 2 small children at home, and I would make this beautiful journal every year with every good intention. And it was in like the scrapbooking days when everything was so beautiful and so perfect. I just couldn't do it. I really couldn't. Every year I would start again, and I would maybe I think I got up to about day 10 once, just trying to do something every day, and it was impossible. I worked long hours, like I said, 2 small children. And then with all their extra school activities that time of year, I was setting myself up for failure every year. And I just felt really, really disappointed. But back then, it was what you did. And I wish that this kind of hobby had been a lot more flexible back when our kids were little. We almost didn't give ourselves the options. It was perfection or nothing. There was no journaling back then, or not that I'm aware of anyway. Everyone did the perfect journals, or the perfect mini books over Christmas and the perfect scrapbooking pages. There was nothing in between. And now looking back, this, for when I had small children, for when we had small children, would have been so perfect just to do a couple of pages. I could still do my big scrapbooking pages because I loved my scrapbooking, but just to have a small journal, I've used double-sided sticky tape, by the way, would have been ideal for me. It really would have done. I've just realised I need to pop my, oh, I'll do that in a moment. Yeah, it would have just worked so much better. I wish that I would have done something like that. Tidy, tidy. Quite pleased because sometimes the wording as well comes over quite far in, and it doesn't on this one, so I'm pleased about that. And then we will try and match that up so it's as neat as possible. Don't panic too much, purely because you will have your pages inside to keep it nice and tidy. Right, now this is my paper piercer. I've got my little bookbinding kit. I'm going to eyeball this for the middle. Okay, now we'll tape that down like that. Yeah, I just wish that I'd have given myself a less stressful option for journaling. And like now, I just make the journal all in one go, and I don't even do a December daily for my main journal. I just do a little bit as and when I can. I like group it all together. I'll do like a baking day, I'll do a shopping day, movies day. I wish I had done that, because now I would actually have something to look back on, whereas I kind of feel I haven't when the kids were little. Lots of unfinished projects, some of which I've now actually binned since we moved. I had so many unfinished projects, and I'm not going to ever go back and redo them. But this way I can sort of move forward now. I found a way that works for me. Could even be, actually, I go through my old photos and even do a previous journal like this. And actually I quite like that idea, just printing off a couple of photos each year, just so I can see the progress of the kids over the years. Just little snippets, maybe like a favourite Christmas present if there was something in particular. Like I remember the year that Holly was really into High School Musical, when that was all the rage, and she had her pom-pom kit and her little outfit and she loved it. That would be really cool. Or the year that Louis got all his dinosaur track and all his dinosaurs and all that kind of thing. We loved those years. So I think actually maybe that's something I may well do, is go back over and just simplify it. I think that is the key to a good December journal. Unless you've got loads of time and you want to go all out, I say simplify it. Don't overthink it. Do as much work as you can in advance, which is what I like to do. And I like to try and get it done by the end of January. There we go. Look how cool that is. I am pleased with that. That looks so neat, doesn't it? I'm pleased with that. Let's add a little bit more glue just to make sure that stays. This is really, really good fabric. I picked this up from a charity store in my mum's village, and everything was sold by weight. So I got this and some alphabet stickers for 60p. Isn't that cool? That's the fabric, not the book. Right, next up, I am going to add my ribbon. Which way do we have it? I think that way. Let's add this just down the outside there. I think having a hot glue gun, I've gone over the ribbon there, is almost a little bit of an essential with doing this kind of thing. It just makes it so much easier, and I always feel everything is very secure. You just know that nothing's going to move. Love that. There we go. That is slightly wonky. I'm just looking at that now. The good thing is we should be able to rectify that. Yes, that is the good thing. Do you see what I mean with adding the trimmings? You can fix everything. I don't know where this one came from, but it's a good one. There. You would never know now, would you, that my ribbon was on wonky. That is cool. I'm so happy with that. I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. Whether or not it will be wonky, I can't promise that. I hope not. But we know if it is, it's not the end of the world. Let's do that facing in. There we go. And how's this one? Actually, that one isn't as bad. Didn't do so bad on that one. Let's just run that down the side. I'd love to hear all about your Christmas journaling plans, plus also any attempts you've had in the past that haven't worked for you. Have you found a way that has worked for you? That would be interesting to hear as well. Or are you still in the mind that it's too early for Christmas? I feel when it comes to Christmas crafting, I think any time from Christmas onwards is acceptable. I'm not one of those that, you know, will start decorating for Christmas in October. So don't get me wrong. I'm not about to even look at decorations and things in the stores yet. And it's third week of October or whatever. But I think when it's Christmas crafting, it feels quite different. Right, we want to tidy these up as well. Have I got enough? I might actually keep some of that, or do we do that as well? I could just about. I have also got just the red trim as well, but I would like to do something to tidy it up. I might even do the other one here. I really liked this one. Yeah, I think I will. Let's use this one as well. I think that would be quite cool. And it's nice to vary it a little bit. Plus, I love that love ribbon so much. I don't want to continue using it. And again, I might use that on some of the tabs. But I think the pink goes really, really well with this one. So I'm pleased with this little find. I was literally going through. I did a video yesterday, actually. It was due to go up here on Thursday. So I'll leave the link below. I was going through loads of my Happy Mail stuff, loads of my supplies, I mean my stash, and I found so much stuff I'd forgotten I had, and I cleared loads out. So I found all that ribbon that was sent to me by a lovely friend, so I was very grateful. There, that is actually cool. Do I do the red as well? Do I need the red? No, I'm going to leave it. It's quite thin. I'm sure I use it on something else, but I will just finish it this side so that it's equal and the sides look tidy. Sometimes with journals I like to cover the pages here just to make them look neat and tidy, but I love this so much. There is absolutely no way I'm covering that up. It is perfect. Look how cute this is. I am so happy with this. Love that. Now, my other thing, I would like to add some pom-poms. I've got a little pom-pom trim here. I picked this up. It's Habitat from Sainsbury's. It was on sale in Sainsbury's at Christmas about 3 years ago. It was before we moved, so yeah, probably about 3 years ago. And I bought a whole load of it, and it was all like for sale for like 50p. They had loads of gift tags and things, like plain tags, so you just never know when you will find a really good journaling treasure. That was a bargain, wasn't it? I was very pleased that, you know, when you look at something and you just think that price just looks too good to be true. That was how I felt about this. Right, let's just pop that on there, because let me just show you. Oh, take that one off there. And that end bit there, so that when the journal is closed we have got the cute pom-poms. And I'm going to do exactly the same here, and again it doesn't have to be perfectly straight because you will not notice. There. What a cute little edge. Doesn't that make a big difference? I love that. Well, this is coming along so nicely. I'm going to have a tidy up of my desk, and then we're going to start on the pages inside. So the next part, I need to decide on my pages. I would quite like to include quite a lot of these. Saying that, pages like that I'm not fussed with, and I'm not fussed about keeping them in order. So we're going to go through. I like that one. Oh look, these ones actually look like they're serrated. I've never seen that before. We don't want to trim them though. I like these. Not so fussed with that, but we can obviously cover that up. I'm going to keep these. I will keep them all in actually. And oh look, that one looks so scary. But I like that one. And then we can just cover up what we're not fussed with, because we're going to be doing that anyway, aren't we? So actually these are perfect. I'm doing 2 signatures. Like I said, I'm not making it huge, but what I will be doing, I have got an old school book of mine. Oh, look. Once upon a time, a little house with 2 little girls, and one is 7 and the other is just a minute. Oh. Lisa Davis writing 3. Look how tiny my handwriting was. I'm using my old school books. I used to love writing stories. Is leaving our class to go to a school in Tame. Mr. Hurrell gave pens to the older children who are leaving the school. He was our headmaster. Mr. Hurrell told everyone to be careful during the holidays, and then there will be no accidents. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. That's very true though. If everyone's careful, there won't be any accidents, will there? Right, I'm not going to use those, but I will be using these. That's what I'm after. I remember Mr. Hurrell. I can visualise him right now. He had the little bungalow next to our little church school, and then a few years later we had a new teacher start and they had a fling, and yeah, he ended up leaving. Funny the things you remember, isn't it? It was the hot gossip. I think I must have been like the last year of primary school to obviously fully understand what was going on. Mr. Hurrell was bolding even when I was at primary school early days when I wrote that, because that was a school where you started at 4 and finished at 11. It was such a tiny village as well. Like I said, starting at 4 and finishing at the age of 11, there was less than 100 pupils in the school when I went. It was a very small school, not the kind of place to go around having an affairs with colleagues, that's for sure, because these things always get found out, don't they? Right, I'm missing a page. Oh, there it is. Right, that is like that. That's actually a really good fit, isn't it? I quite like that. I'm going to pop this one in here as well. There we go. I seem to be missing one here as well. I thought I had 3 on each. Have I lost one? This one I'm going to include as well. This feels special. This was from my dad's apprenticeship, and again, I'm not going to use any that he's written. I'm just going to use a couple of blank ones because I would like to include those. I feel this is a special one that will be kept by the kids, hopefully. I don't expect them to keep all of my journals, but this one feels, yeah, extra special. So I like that. So let's take one of the training logs from there. Sometimes as well, and I always forget this part, I need to trim down the actual papers because they are a little bit, by the time you put them into the journal, they're a little bit long. Have I accidentally got 3 in here? 1, 2, 3, yeah, I've got 4. Let's put the scary one over here. I would like to kind of have a little think how many pages I've actually got. I think I'm going to add 1 more, and then I think we should have a decent amount. I was thinking about using these. I've got an atlas here as well. Look. But I think actually I might grab another exercise book from my school. I'm going to take one of my maths book pages and use that. I've just found a storybook as well, and I've got stories in there. They were from when I was like 5. That was infants, wasn't it? It's the very first year. Isn't that cool? So I am going to take these By the looks of it, my maths has not improved much. Never was my strongest point. Right, so let's use, I love that with the old tape. That looks so cool. So I think then we have got our pages. I'm going to use this one in here. I like these one because I feel this is a special one for the kids, and it's got some good old memories in this one, and I'm going to be trimming the pages down. That's a good length actually. It's funny because in the actual book they feel perfect, but when you create them as a journal, they're just a little bit on the long side. I'm going to do that quickly now actually. All it takes is, whoops, just to run them through. It doesn't need to be perfect. I just want to take the ends off. By the time they're all sewn in and worked on, you really can't tell. So I would much rather do this now than when they're in the actual journal. Hopefully I've taken enough off. So I've got my two signatures. Signatures are the little booklets that go inside. This will be good. And now I have cut out a template to go in the middle. It needs to be the actual width of the spine there, as you can see. And then to make the template so you know where to cut your holes, you fold that in half, you fold that bit into the center, and again like that, and then we're going to do exactly the same but the other way around. Fold it in half, and then these bits into the center, and then this way you can mark off where your holes are going. So we are having on there, or I could do with a pencil with that actually marks. So there we go, 2. That's where we are going to mark off our holes like that. That should be perfect. I am going to grab my clips to hold these in place. I made a mistake last time and I didn't get it very central. So I just want to make sure that looks much better this time. Cool. And then we're going to use the pokey tool again to put the holes through, and I'm hoping that this looks central. Yes, I really struggled with my largest one. It was going through lace. I'll leave the link below in case you haven't seen it. It's my gardening journal. I am so pleased. It's absolutely beautiful, but going through the lace there, the ribbon, was really hard work. It definitely tested me, that one, that's for sure. Okay, so we've got our holes there. Perfect. And now for the ribbon, oh, needles. Let's grab my big needle to go through. This is like a waxy thread. I love this stuff. Everything that I'm using, we want 2.5. I will link up down below. So you've got the full kit in case you haven't made one before. I've also got the red tape linked up, my binding kit, you name it, the little clippy things, as in that, you name it, it's on there. Right, so now we are going to sew in the papers. Now I do mine slightly different to most other people, but for me it works really well. Let's open these up like that. This is the first one, and I am, let's grab a pencil. I need to sharpen all my pencils. I want this to work on the crease. That needs to go on there and over. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to pop this through there. 1, 2, 3. I'll do the other one in just a moment. thread this through, and I'm going to start with the middle. And I always say that I just prefer to do it stage by stage. I'm going to leave a nice little bit to tie through, and I don't think it actually matters which way you go through. I used to watch, before I ever made one, I watched so many videos trying to get it right, and you know, my way is not like any other way that I've seen when I used to do it. I've kind of like developed what works best for me. This is what goes well for me. So like I said, don't panic too much. You'll find your own way of doing it. And worst comes to worst, you can just unpick it and start again. That's what I have done many, many times. Let's do that through. And then this one here. I'm glad I went with the green actually. It breaks it up really nicely. Through this way, and with the red thread as well, it looks really cute. I'm pleased about this, and then actually I'll see if I can catch up and do the first couple of years of us being in the house, and then I'm ready to go after Christmas, which will be quite fun. Right, like that, and then make sure it's nice and tight. And I always like to do mine in a nice bow, and obviously when you're doing it, make sure your pages are all up the right way as well. That's super important. I still might have, yeah, I have as well. I'm going to need to trim the bottom off. It's slightly too long, but it's fine. Don't panic about it if that does happen. It's not the end of the world. It's only paper. Nothing is worth getting stressed over, but if you see, that just hangs slightly. To be honest, it's slightly noticeable. I might even be able to leave that, or do I just trim it? Let's see. Let's do the other one, and we'll see how that is. Nice and tidy. And we are going to do the same with the other one. Also, the other thing I recommend you doing, I've just realised mine are very uniformed here. That wasn't done intentionally. If you are new to this and you haven't made one before, I really recommend keeping it uniformed and not having all the different lengths and things, because when you've got some sort of like smaller ones, it gets really fiddly and they easily slip. So I recommend, I could have just trimmed the bottom of this, actually it would have been easier, never mind. I recommend, where's my, oh there it is. So keeping it simple to start with until you've got the hang of it, and just otherwise you can sort of knock your confidence a little bit. So build your confidence first and then go for it. Right, what are we doing? Through the middle. I lost my train of thought then. Through there. Making sure we've got a nice little bit in the middle. And through the top there. And we're going to do exactly the same here. And through the middle again. Feels quite nice to feel organised for Christmas. I'm not usually. I'll tell you what would be really nice on here, but I don't have, and that would be some little bells. You know, some like little jangly bells. That would be so cute. I think I've got them on one of my other journals. You know, in amongst the charms. I could even, I'll tell you what else would be nice, some Christmas baubles. That would be so cute. Right. Oh, that's gone through there. Let's tidy that there and just pop through this one. And we are pretty much done. And then ready to tie nice and tight in a bow. This looks cute. And then I am just going to grab my scissors and just take off the bottom slightly. It doesn't have to be straight. Like I said, I could have just done this before, but it's not the end of the world. You really won't notice it, but I do notice it when it's just slightly lower than the book, and that's bugging me a little bit. I had to do this in my previous one as well. Oh, Oh, I've gone through the other one now as well. I've really messed this all up. I never let myself get stressed about anything when I'm doing this kind of thing. It's just not worth it. There we go. And I've managed to cut through that one. You will not notice it by the time I've added all the trimmings, the ribbons and everything else. There. So we have got our journal, our Christmas in the Country, which is looking so cute. Chuffed about that. I would also like to add more trimmings to the edges because I want it to look quite full that way. So we could add some lace actually, that might look quite nice. I have decided to add some lace along this one. We're going to vary it a little bit, just making sure we don't attach the pages together. This one's quite crinkled, but you've also got to act really quite quick on it as well. Have I done it? I don't think I have. No. See what I mean? You have to be really quick. I'm going to do it in stages, I think. And then we're going to start layering these up so that we get to see them on the outside. Like that. And then just make sure that we haven't stuck them together. Like that. And I'm going to do exactly the same down here. The other thing you can do is staple them as well. And if you've got some colourful staples, that will look really nice. Put that on there. I always tend to find that I get really gluey fingers when I do this job. Look at those. I have alternated the lace at the front and the back. I have got the pink and the yellow pom-poms and the green leaves as well. Love that. And now that's done so beautifully. Now I want to add some fun tab tops as well in amongst those. I think I'm just going to collect a few bits and pieces though. So now to add some fun bits and pieces. I don't know about that one actually. Let's keep that one clear. Let's add things like tickets. And I would like to add a little bit of fabric at the top there. I'm just stapling this in. I've got pink staples in. They were already in. That's why, so I've kept it easy. Let's add a little bit of fabric as well. And the plan is just to have a whole load of tab tops poking out the top. It's going to look so cute. I've got some red here as well, keeping it in the same kind of Christmassy colours. There, and we're just going to add them all over so that they're all sticking out like that. And to me, that's what makes a really special journal page. It's all the little bits and pieces. And then when it comes to making the journal, I can then keep it quite basic and fun. I feel like I want to add some more. Oh, I've got some fabric as well. Oh, I'll tell you what else I was going to do. I have got a few things like that. There we go. What else have I got in here that would be fun to add? I want to find bits and pieces to poke out of the top. I think these are all Christmassy bits. That would be fun. It's really fun when you find all your bits and pieces to go in your journals. I love doing this kind of thing. Look at all of those. I've also got a couple of leaves I'm going to include. I think those will look really nice. Let's add these like that. There we go. And I've got a little clip here. It's just kind of like adding lots and lots of bits and pieces. Look how lovely that's looking. Loving this. And then I just want to work on the charms. So this is it. I've decided not to make a charm. I want to add baubles and bells and all that. So I will do that with you another time. I want to get in a few bits and pieces and maybe go through our Christmas decorations, which at the moment are in the loft. So for now, I've just added this tool on the side just so it looks a little bit finished rather than just having the little ring. But let me give you a little flip through just so you can see how it looks. I am very excited to get this one going. It's going to run from December 2023 to however long we are in this house. I think it's going to be really, really fun. It's actually really encouraged me maybe to do another one from when the kids were little. It's just going to be really relaxed, not in great detail, but just a few memories. And it would be so nice for the kids to look back on one year and actually see our Christmases documented very briefly throughout the years. And I encourage you, if you struggle with December journaling, this is the most easiest way to document your December. One journal and a couple of pages, and that's all it takes. Doesn't get much easier than that, really, does it? So not overwhelming. We can all do a couple of pages, can't we? And then, like I said, if you still want to do it in detail, you can do a journal maybe that's just got a lot more. I don't think I'll be doing this one. I think I'll be doing a larger one this year. I haven't actually decided what I'm doing yet. I think this is the easiest way to do it. I've just realised I've got some of these bits and pieces here that I wanted to use. I was excited about these as well. Let's just trim these off and add a few bits and pieces. I wanted a few more bits to poke out, so that will be perfect. I love this. I'm going to on a few bits and pieces here and there. I love the tags. I really do. I'm going to do exactly the same with this one. And I'm going to use some of the stickers as well. The other thing I would really like to do is get something on here from when the journal was started. I quite fancy actually. Got this one down here. Wouldn't mind like that. That would be quite cool. Yeah, I love that. And then another one at the top. This one will be really good. These little tags are so handy. I'd like this journal to be a very, very user-friendly one, so that when it comes to working in it, I don't have to do loads and loads. I want it to feel very easy. There we go. So we've got those bits there. And then I love all these. We've also got I forgot all about these. Oh, we've got more tags. Let's use some of these. These will be so much fun. I was hunting for bits and pieces like this before, wasn't I? And they were there on my desk. I even got them ready. Sometimes I can be so forgetful. Let's add that one there. I love the red stripes. There. And we have got one with mistletoe, and these would be really nice just to pop a few details down at the top of the page or on the side, depending where I've popped it. Love this. It's these kind of things that really make the difference. There we go. I can't wait to hear what kind of plans you've got for your December journaling yet. Have you actually even given it any thought, or does it still feel far too early for you? There we go. This is looking so nice and full now. I'm loving this, and we haven't even got anything in there yet. I love this. Details, date and location. That is perfect for the start, isn't it? This is exactly what we needed. There was me sort of talking about when I started it. Where is going to be, I think, the very front here. Love that. And then I can write a little story about it, and I am just going to get this very first page started. I think that's what we need to do with this one. Got some really cute little bits and pieces. Love these stickers, look how sweet. And let's use these for, I'd like to have the word starting. Done that page, I'll show you that in a moment. I'm just piercing through these tags very carefully as I've just had an idea. Got this string here, let's add some bows. That would be really, really cute. I've decided actually I'm going to keep these, rather than just use these papers for the sake of using them, I'm going to keep them because I've got my first 2 Christmases to do, and I will use that with it. Let's just tie these in cute bows. I like that. This is actually coming together really, really nicely. Let's do a green one on this one. This journal has completely evolved. Look at it with all the tags and the bows. I've added the paper strings to these ones as well. I am so excited to start this journal. I've added the stickers there. I love this, and this, here we go, starting 2023. So I can go now and do a couple of pages. Look how cute this has turned out to be. I love this. I am so excited for this one. I think, you think over the years how this is going to evolve. I think this is going to be one amazing journal. Let's just add another staple at the top there. I'm really excited about this. I hope this has excited you to maybe start one for yourself too. I think it's a really fun time of year to document, and it's such a shame that everyone is so busy that it can feel so overwhelming, and then if you're anything like me years ago, it just doesn't get done. So I hope that you take from this today to just keep it simple. You don't have to go overboard and you don't have to feel overwhelmed. Make your journal now and just create a couple of pages each year if that's all you can do. If you can do more, then amazing, but don't put the pressure on yourself. I hope this has helped you today. I look forward to hearing from you and reading all your comments down below. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.